What's up, everybody, and happy Monday, May the 11th. I wanted to provide you with another economic stimulus update as well as give you an investment update at the end of this video. Some people have been asking me for investment updates and how the stock market is doing, so I'm going to provide that as well. And we're going to really dive into something that's been updated today by the IRS. They're giving guidance on how those dependents that were left out, those that were college students, those parents that were claimed on the child's tax returns and those different things. They're giving us guidance on how those dependents can claim the $1,200 economic stimulus. It just won't be now, it'll be next year. But stay tuned, I'm gonna talk about how you can claim that and on your 2020 tax returns. What's up, everybody? My name is Paul Zachary Shelton Jr., and I am the Chief Investment Officer of Warwick Shore Advisors. We are a wealth management and investment management firm located in Orlando, Florida, with clients all across the United States. If this is your first time coming to our channel or visiting our channel, seeing one of our videos or anything like that, please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell so that you can get an update each time we post a new video. Also, please like and share this video. It is my goal to increase the financial literacy of our globe, and you can help me do that. So there's a handful of things that I want to talk to you about today, and we're going to jump right into it and get started with it. So the IRS did provide a slew of updates for some of the most common questions that I've been receiving on my videos as well. And it has to do with the dependents not getting paid, has to do with a lot of the little gray areas in the tax code that prevented many people from getting their economic stimulus. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I have my notes here, I'm looking at it, and then the first thing it talks about is those that did not receive the full amount that they were expecting to receive for their economic stimulus payment. I know a lot of people got the wrong amount or incorrect amount. And a lot of times this has been the case if your 2019 taxes were filed but are filed and accepted, but have not yet been fully processed. So the scenario is they'll fall back to the 2018 tax returns. And in many cases, those 2018 tax returns may not include a dependent such as a child, or it may include a child on there that was in college or something like that and is throwing off the amount of the payment that it should be for your total stimulus amount. So it is a very unfortunate situation, but they're saying in many cases you can go back in time, but actually go forward in time, I guess, and rectify a situation that happened in the past with having a payment that was missed, more than likely for the dependents, the $500 that was missed. You can claim that on your 2020 tax returns and put that in there, and then they'll disseminate that to you at that time. I know many people have reached out to me and said, I don't file taxes, I don't meet the minimum. What's the workaround? What can I do to claim that going forward without having to file a tax return? As of right now, the IRS did not provide clear guidance on what you should do, essentially. So I would just say, as the time comes, I'm sure they're going to focus more so on that towards the latter part of this year and going into tax season for next year. As of right now, they're really focusing on just getting all the economic stimulus payments out to everyone. But just know that you are entitled to it. If you can go back, show that that dependent was eligible at the time of the economic stimulus, you can go ahead and claim that going into the 2020 tax season, I should say, or 2021 tax season, and be able to get the economic stimulus money for that dependent at that time. The next thing I want to talk about is the claimed dependents. Now, that's a very hot topic. Many people claimed a parent or claimed another relative or a child, for example, that may have been in college and did not get any economic stimulus for that claimed dependent. Now, what the IRS is advising now is two separate scenarios, which kind of works out to be the same. The first is dealing with college students. So many of those college students that are out there that were over the age of 16, that were claimed on their parents or someone else's tax returns did not get the economic stimulus payment of the $1,200. Neither did the person that claimed you, the taxpayer that claimed you, receive the dependent stimulus of $500. So what the IRS has advised to get around this, and not get around it, but to be able to be fair and allow those individuals to receive the economic stimulus payment, is they said that the students, if they cannot be claimed as a dependent by, it says here, by their mother or anyone else, so by any taxpayer for the 2020 year, that student may be eligible to claim the $1,200 credit on their 2020 tax return. So it won't come right now, but just know that when you file your 2020 tax return, I'm sure all of the companies out there, H&R Block, TurboTax, Jackson Hewitt, all the tax preparers are going to add this as a question that they're going to ask going into next year, so that you can get the full amount, the most refund that you can get, and additionally get that stimulus amount for those dependents that missed it this time around. The same is true actually for dependents that are aged 17 years or older. There was many of you reached out to me and said, "What about my mother? She didn't get anything. She's on SSI or SSDI, and I claimed her as a dependent, and it's not fair that they're not getting an economic stimulus," which I agree with. It's not fair that they are not getting the economic stimulus, but here's the workaround for it. Very similar to what you can do for the college students, can be done for the adults, those that are 17 years of age and older that are claimed as a dependent. So it says, however, if a parent or other relative cannot be claimed, and it's saying cannot be claimed, as a dependent on the taxpayers or anyone else's returns for 2020. So this isn't for 2019 or 2018 or anything like that. So for this year that we're currently in right now, 2020, if that individual, if that parent or relative cannot be claimed on their tax return, and this is a conversation that you're more than likely going to need to have with your tax preparer. Everyone's situation is totally different. It may be advantageous for you to have them claimed on your taxes. But if there's a reason why it's not advantageous and you can get around without claiming them on your taxes, the IRS is saying that that parent or relative may be eligible to individually claim the $1,200 credit on their 2020 tax return filed next year. Now, it keeps referring back to those that are going to file a tax return next year. I'm sure they're going to update this and provide something for the non-filers out there. I know you're going to ask the questions, what about us non-filers? Non-filers, we're here too. What are we going to do? Trust me, they're going to update and provide information for you as well. Another one of the things I wanted to provide an update on was past due child support. So if you do have past due child support, they did advise that the economic impact payment is offset only by past due child support. So we talked before about wage garnishments, which this addresses to the update they provided today. They're not garnishing any wages. The IRS is not doing that for any debts or any loans, I should say, that are out there. But for past due child support, they will only provide an offset of what that past due amount is. So if you're supposed to get $1,200 and your past due balance is $1,000, you should get an offset of the $200 as an economic stimulus. Now, they did say that there will be a check that will, or not a check, I'm sorry, a letter that will be sent out to you advising of this as well, to clarify for some people. Some people have gone through a family court and things may have changed since that 2018 tax return, if that's what they're looking at. So if you're falling into that situation where your personal situation has changed from the last tax return that the IRS is looking at, please raise your hand, raise the red flag, and let them know that something is different and that I should be entitled to this full economic stimulus payment as of now. So the last thing I wanted to talk about referring to or regarding the economic stimulus is those that have an incorrect impact payment amount. So it provides some guidance on the things that you can do to go ahead and get the correct amount, but unfortunately, like everyone's been saying, you're not going to get that correct amount or the updated amount or the full amount of the economic stimulus until 2020. So what it says is when taxpayers file their return next year, they can claim additional credits on their 2020 tax return if they are eligible for them. The IRS will provide further details on irs.gov on any actions that may need to be taken at this time. And it also says that the economic impact payment will not reduce a taxpayer's refund or increase the amount they owe when they file a tax return early next year. It is also not taxable, and it is therefore should not be included in income on a 2020 tax return. Again, I'm not an accountant. I am not a tax professional. I'm not a CPA. I have a wealth management firm. I work in investing, but these areas do overlap a little bit. So I always suggest that you reach out to your personal tax preparer for your own personal situation. Let them give you the best guidance in accordance to what the IRS is saying right now about receiving your full economic impact payment on your 2020 tax return. And again, for those non-filers out there, I'm sure the IRS is going to provide additional guidance on how to update for the non-filers, even if it is just using the IRS Get My Payment tool. Hopefully it's working much smoother in the coming months. And hopefully you'll be able to go on there and update all that payment information for the non-filers so that you can get your full economic stimulus amount for those dependents or for anyone that was left off. All right, so my last topic, as promised, I wanted to give you a quick investment update. So right now the S&P 500 is down, and this is as of Friday's close, a little under 10% year to date. Now this is a good thing compared to where it was at the end or the middle of February, at February 19th when it reached its all-time highs, and then it dropped precipitously down about 35% after everything when everything first came out around the coronavirus. So this is a good time. It has been a good time to get into the market and a good time to do some initial investing in the market if you've never invested before. I do want to caution investors that there is potential risk and volatility ahead in the market as we still have not received a vaccine and received anything that has been proven to really satisfy the coronavirus. As of right now, I believe South Carolina was the earliest state to reopen and send people back to work about 3 weeks ago, I should say. And as of right now, they have had a 75% increase in new virus cases. This was expected, and this is something that we're seeing in Florida and something that we're seeing in Georgia, not to that magnitude, but we are seeing an increase and a spike in new coronavirus cases as a result of states reopening for business. This will affect the investment markets as well. Continue to stay tuned. I'll continue to provide more investment updates if you're interested in that, and some potential stocks and ideas and ETFs that you can use to invest in to help you along your financial journey. If this is your first time coming to my channel, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button. Please like and share this video. It helps me grow the financial literacy across this globe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.